Hello and welcome back to the Jules with Jim podcast. I am your host GiGi and I hope you're well. If you're new, welcome. I'm honored to have you here. If you're returning, I'm humbled to have you back. And to all my new subbies, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are the VIPs indeed, and thank you ever so much for the continuous support. So if I do feel a bit vibey in my energy today, it's because I'm literally chilling outside, and it is 20 to 11 o'clock in the middle of the night, in the evening, late evening, and there is literally loud music playing in the background. And you know what, I'm also enjoying life with the people that are enjoying life, playing loud music. Okay, so just allow me to be. We've just entered, actually I think it's been 2 days since we've actually entered the topic that I'm about to talk about today, which is Venus retrograde in Capricorn, in the sign of Capricorn. So let us talk about it. Let us talk about the Venus retrograde in Capricorn. And you know what? I wanted us to talk about this and what it means for you as per your placements, and what I feel a lot of people are just failing to mention. I think we've all heard and probably all know that Venus is the planet of love, and how personal relationships are directly affected when it comes to a Venus retrograde. I see no problem with this. However, I feel that this doesn't really do much justice and fails to really apply to everyone. As you guys know, I always strive to be really conclusive with the information that I provide to you guys. So I really hope that I'm able to explain it in depth as possible, because I just feel like this is astrology, so really there are a variety of possibilities. There are a myriad of possibilities, actually. So I think we really need to be aware of that, and I think we should be mentioning the fact that there are other factors that come into play, and it's not just one coin all the time. It's not just about love when it comes to Venus retrogrades. It's not just about your ex just popping out of nowhere and saying, can we try again? It's not just about that. Venus rules over so many other themes of life. So I think we need to be considerate of that fact, and maybe not try to push misinformation so much, and really dig deeper into what we are actually saying to people, and really understand what it is that we're actually saying. The information that we're giving out to people, let it be accurate, and also let it be inclusive most of all, because astrology is for everybody. Okay, so let's get right into it. So like I said, we've all heard how Venus retrograde is going to affect your personal relationships, how your exes may come back, and all that jazz. But like I said, I don't feel that does much justice, and I think that it actually fails to apply to everyone, like I said. Because sometimes love, or even relationships, and I know the algorithm loves love, like we all love relationships. We all love talking about relationships, and we all love, having this argument of who's wrong, who's right, men versus women, masculine versus feminine, and all of these conversations. However, of course, there is more to life than just that, right? Love is not really going to apply, or even relationships, or even relating to people on a personal level sometimes is not always a priority for everyone. Like Venus is literally retrograding in Capricorn, which rules like career, it rules your reputation, your public persona, and excuse me, lest we forget that it rules over money, stability. Like money and stability technically go hand in hand, and Capricorn is a very materialistic sign. Okay, maybe not overly materialistic. I think it also depends on the aspects that you do have, because you can really be about your money but also be a really humble person. Like you're not always like on your grind, but typically the average Capricorn, the typical energy of this sign is, I'm all about my money, I'm here to ground, I'm here to put into practice what I preach, basically. So there's a lot that could happen pertaining to, your money, your perception of it, how you handle it, what you actually spend your money on, like, where's your money going? What are you spending your money on? What are you losing money to? Addictions, traveling, like there's so many possibilities. And I think that's really the conversations that we should be having, because we all love money, don't we? We okay, maybe we don't all love it, but I think we all understand the importance of having it, at least to survive in this current reality. It's something that we cannot, unfortunately, run away from. Like, it is a fact. We need money to sort of, survive in this world. Otherwise, we could all just kumbaya around a bonfire and just live life. That would be awesome, but unfortunately that is not the current dynamic. That is this reality. So we need to face the facts and be practical and realistic, which is what Capricorn energy is about. In case you did not get that in my demeanor, that is what Capricorn energy is all about. It's precise, it's concise, it's to the point, it's practical. It's okay, how do we solve this problem? It is a problem solver. It's quick on its feet. I could go on for days and days and days, but I think you get the picture. So, let's just be honest with ourselves and just accept the fact that money affects you mostly on the outside, which is your reputation, your perception, the perception of how other people view you as well. And, it's literally the external parts. Money makes the external parts literally accessible, and I think that is a game changer on its own, and we need to accept that fact. Like, it is what it is. Like I said, Venus is the planet of love, and yes, we've all heard it all before. I swear, probably heard it all before. It refers to our relation to others in terms of how, which is obviously determined by the sign that Venus is in, how we are empathetic towards other people, how we relate to others, how we even relate to ourselves, because remember, Venus is all about self-worth as well. It's all about our self-esteem. It's about our growth. It's about the things that we like to possess, or the things that we are possessive over. It also rules like the things that we value, our morals, our self-esteem, as I mentioned before, the love in which we show ourselves, or even the lack thereof, how poised and refined we are or aren't. I can't. I just had to say aren't. But anyway, most importantly, I think it's also about how we handle our possessions and how we handle our money and how we go about getting the things that make us comfortable, because also Venus is about comfort. It's about luxury. It's about, indulgence. It's about really tapping into all 5 senses, if not all 6 senses, and really just enjoying life for what it is, right? So, it's about how we go about getting all the things that make us comfortable, what makes us feel beautiful, what makes us feel special, what makes us feel valued, all of those good stuff. And then we look at the sign Capricorn, which is all about authority. It's all about stability, grounding. It's about rules, discipline. So you just may find that the goals, which is also a Capricorn theme, that you may have had set, they may just need to be reevaluated, or you just need to go back to something and just think about how you did that. Or you might just look at your goals and be like, where did I actually go wrong, or where did I actually fall off, if you may have fallen off not achieving your goals this year. So it could be that while you are reevaluating, you actually come to a realization of something which could make you see results faster, or accelerate the whole process of you reaching your goals sooner. Or you may just see what may have hindered you, and you try and fix that, and then that's when you realize that you get on the correct track and you start making progress from that. Career is also a big theme here during this time, because of course career is a Capricorn theme. So it kind of depends where Capricorn is in your chart. That's kind of like the greatest area of challenge, acceleration, reevaluation, realization. I don't know if I said that, but I'll say it again. But yeah, just an overall, just going back and just seeing, okay, what is not working, what is working, what can I keep, what can't I keep, because Capricorn is a very cutthroat energy. It's more of a, if it's causing a problem, I need to drop it, or if it's causing a problem and I can't drop it, let me try and find practical ways of how I can deal with the situation. The actual reason why I wanted to speak on this is because, I mean, everyone is different and everyone has different placement, and I'm all about inclusivity, if that is even a word. But yeah, I'm all about being inclusive. I'm all about being in a camaraderie type of energy. I'm all about us being in unison, because we are all one, we are all connected, we are all on this journey, but we obviously are taking different paths, yet we can all learn from each other. So, there are people with Venus retrograde in Capricorn already in their charts, or even in any sign for that matter, and it wouldn't really be a somber time. Like, I think these individuals, they already possess that energy in their chart already, so this might kind of just be like, Venus retrograde is like the norm, and I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. There are people that have retrograde planets and planets in signs in their charts, like it's already normal. Like, I think I have Mercury retrograde in my chart, and I think I also have my North Node retrograde in my chart. So, I mean, like, why should we pretend as if this energy is like a new energy when some people have had it in their charts for like the longest time, since birth, literally? So, I just want to be inclusive because of that simple fact. Being generic can sometimes be a blunder, because not everyone will relate to the advice pertaining to don't get into a relationship or don't get married, when it really could not even be applicable to anybody. Like, I mean, getting married and being in a relationship could only be applicable to 49% of the population, and the rest of the 51% is just like, I actually think astrology sucks because it has nothing to do with me right now. All of the chances are always incorrect. Like, I don't understand the information, and then that's when we actually miss certain events that happen in our life, because we're so focused on the information that we're being given instead of being focused on the opportunities and the possible challenges that we may face. So nobody talks about the fact that, if you apply for a loan, earlier in the year, you might want to go back and reevaluate what you probably did wrong in that application. Maybe you missed a document. Maybe the money that you were wanting or that you were requesting was too high for the amount that the bank feels that you're willing to pay back. There's a whole variety of events and instances that could happen, and I think that's the type of information that could really, really help people. I love love. I'm a Venus in Pisces. I love love, but I need to be realistic. I'm a Capricorn. I cannot always be under the impression that everything is always about love. Of course, we do operate on love. Love is the highest frequency. However, in this specific reality, I think we need to be more inclusive and just mention all of the possible things that could happen, or the possible events that could happen, and real life events, not just like, you guys get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. So, so those are the types of things that would actually, or types of scenarios, events that would actually be applicable to a lot of people's situation, because a lot of people are going through money issues. And I mean, Capricorn is all about money. It's all about that currency, like, and everybody is on that bandwagon. Everybody is on that train to be more successful, to be more comfortable, to be more independent, to experience true freedom, because that's what freedom looks like. It makes money makes things accessible. Money makes things, it gives you a sense of power. It gives you a sense of relief that really this is the part of life that you don't have to really worry about or stress about. So that's really why I really wanted to come on my platform and just speak to you about it, and just also hear what you have to say about it. So now I'll go through Venus transiting the 1st house all the way through to the 12th house. And as I mentioned, as I mentioned prior, check where Capricorn falls in your chart to know which house will be affected and possibly how it could be affected. So if you have Capricorn rising, which is also known as Capricorn in the first house, a transit of Venus here could really spell contemplating the way in which you present yourself. So you might have been for the most part of this year really been like, I'm pretty sure I could change my look. Or you may have been in instances where the way you dress or the way you present yourself has become a problem or hindered you from certain opportunities. So now it's really coming into focus because obviously Venus is transiting in this first house. So now you're really okay, maybe I need to make some sort of a change. Perhaps you think that you think about maybe changing your physical look. You might change your hair, you might even do surgery. You might even change the way that you dress. You may have lost weight or gained weight. You may even take a new regime, you may even start a new skincare regime. Basically, the self is what becomes the focus here, how you can better relate to others or how others can better relate to you at first glance or at first impression, or however you want to articulate that. But really the self is coming into focus here, focusing on what the self actually needs in order to get to the next level, or the next house, or however you want to, you get what I mean. But really the self here is the focus. You may even reevaluate the relationships with people around you. You may start prioritizing a little bit better. Whatever changes occur, usually it will be for the best, seeing as the energy of Venus is in Capricorn, which is quite a stable long-term energy. So any decisions made during this time will be long-lasting. Now, I know a lot of astrologers will say, don't go and change your hair, don't get a new haircut, don't change anything about your physical look. But I mean, if you already have Venus retrograding, then you're pretty much, are you never gonna step out of your comfort zone and change your hair just because it's a Venus retrograde? I think not. I think do what's best for you, and obviously it'll either way you'll learn from the experience. Even if you do change your physical look and it turns out to be a blunder, you would have learned from that experience. If you do change your physical look and it turns out to be the bomb.com, hey, you would have won. Capricorn in the second house, I think this could be a time where you start evaluating or questioning other means of an income, maybe perhaps using your skills, your talents, or even your connections that you may have made, because obviously the second house is opposite to the 8th, which is other people or other people's resources. So you might really want to try and get some money from other people. So when we say other people, I just basically mean institutions, banks, Mashonisa. I'm just kidding, not Mashonisa, but banks, institutions, fundraising, applying for some sort of sponsorship, maybe even getting an inheritance of some sort that will enable you to start a business, because 8th house and the second house is all about a legacy. That's what the second house and the 8th house is all about. Well, to me at least, it's a legacy of self in the second house, and it's a legacy given to you by others. So by others, other people's hard work, technically. You may come across another means to cover your expenses, or you may make investments that may increase your cash flow, or you could have issues, perhaps starting a new business, or even realizing that, I actually don't have enough capital. So maybe you might have made a goal that, okay, in December I want to start my business, and now it's December and you realize that, oh gosh, I don't even have enough capital to start my business. I might have to, wait another 6 months. Or you come across something that you read online on the socials or in a book or whatever the case is, and you realize that, oh, okay, I can still open up my business, but it's going to be a little bit more challenging. So those are really the typical events that could happen in the second house. So you may even realize that you have been standing in the way of your ability to draw money towards you, by some sort of self-limiting beliefs, because best believe the second house is fixed energy, so it's very unlikely to just wake up and just change. What will usually happen is they will go through a couple of challenges before they establish or implement the change. So it's not a change that's going to come like, how Gemini moon just literally changes its mind like in 2 seconds, or how Pisces will, go in between emotions or go in between thoughts and change their minds, or even Virgo sometimes can be a little bit indecisive sometimes, and how Libra can also be perceived that way. This is an energy that is literally, I'm sticking to this. I don't care. I'm here. I'm sticking to this. It's that type of energy. Like, it is unmoving, literally. So it would literally have to go through a string of unfortunate events until it moves and is like, okay, maybe this is not working out for me. That's the only time they will be unmoved, even if people around them are saying the same thing daily, 1,000 times a day. It does not matter. As long as they don't feel the need to move, they will be unmoved. They will remain unmoved. They will be the stone that will remain unturned, technically, basically. So so you may even, your self-limiting beliefs or even your actions, you may just realize that actually those are the things that have been holding me back. You may even realize that you're not able to save if that was one of your goals. If you wanted to save, that you're just spending money unnecessarily on things that really don't make sense. Maybe on a habit, maybe on a relationship. You know what you're going through, so take it as it is, so you may even realize you've been spending money on accounts that you may have, on comforts and luxuries, and that's really what's been stagnating your growth and making you feel stuck. Of course, remember to take aspects into account. That is very important, as that will obviously increase the accuracy of what it is that I'm saying. Capricorn in the 3rd house. Venus transiting here may bring some relief, to your communication style. You may communicate more effectively. People around you may become more empathetic towards you, or you may be more empathetic towards them, as Capricorn energy can be extremely heavy, quite pessimistic to those around them, especially in the 3rd, as it deals with the people around them, like their parents, their siblings, their neighbors, people in their everyday environment. So a lot of the people might feel like this energy is just so deep, or this may just be the person that just only speaks when spoken to. Like, if there's nothing for them to say, they're literally not going to say a damn thing. It's literally just going to be a thing of, you can see that they're listening, but don't expect any input. Don't expect anything unless they really motivated to say anything. They ain't about to say nothing. They're not about to say nothing. Zilch. Just there. So this type of transit may really encourage you to really enjoy difficult or annoying tasks, everyday tasks. This energy may make it more manageable, more enjoyable, and you might really start having genuine bonding sessions with the people around you. Or you may just your perspective might even change over time, because I think this energy, Capricorn energy in the 3rd house, really has boundaries towards people really becoming close to them. So you may have siblings but not really have a close relationship with them. So this type of energy might make you more open. You might let your hair down in terms of, really talking and communicating and expressing the way that you feel about people around you, about, whatever comes to mind, really, because obviously the 3rd house is about communication. So literally whatever you feel that you want to express, you're going to express it, whether that be verbally or otherwise. But communication is definitely going to be important. Bonds are going to be important. Forging relationships are going to be important. Just a more softer less rigid way of communication can be expected here. Perhaps also the way you think, the way you learn about new things may be easier at this time, and not as challenging as it normally would be. Or this could be really a time where you just express yourself a little bit more and, obviously shock a couple of people. But yeah, definitely gonna get your word out there. Which is very exciting. Capricorn in the 4th house. Getting a transit from Venus here could mean comfort in chaos, literally. So okay, maybe not like complete chaos. Capricorn is a very disciplined energy, so we're not completely going balls off the walls, but we're definitely going to be less rigid, as Venus is a very soft energy. It's a benefic planet, so it transiting in your 4th will make home life just more calmer, just more comfortable, less restrictive. You may have been the type of person that was probably raised in an environment that may have been cold, may have been strict, really rigid, may have not allowed you to be the person that you feel that you are. So this energy, and I think you may have adopted the same attitude, in your own home life. So with this transit, you may just even come to realize that a lot of your mistakes may be because of you. Or you may understand the fact that the way that you were raised has actually made you become the person that you are. And sometimes you may even come to realize that actually you have all the power. Even though you might have been raised a specific way, you still have the power to, change that and make your home situation a little bit more enjoyable, instead of being very rigid and strict about the way that you want things. Because obviously Capricorn is an energy that knows what it wants. Like Capricorn is literally, especially in the 4th house, it's literally that energy whereby you just walk into the house and the person says, oh, excuse the mess, and there's literally not even a speck of dust, like anywhere, not even on the lights above the ceiling, like on the roof, there's no dust, literally. This is that type of energy where everything is just structured. Like that person knows the house from A to Z. They know where the towels are, right up until what's stored in the pantry, shelf for shelf. That is literally the energy. So with Venus transiting here, you become a little bit more relaxed. You start enjoying really your home. You start enjoying the people that are in your home. You start enjoying, or you even start learning more about yourself, more about your roots, more about why it is that you enjoy certain things. And yeah, it's definitely a vibe. I mean, I feel that we should always be learning about ourselves continuously. So definitely do enjoy this energy. You might even think about decorating your house, your home, or, you may just think about renovations as well. Capricorn in the 5th house. This could be extremely liberating, as you could let loose like a goose. And your strict or rigid ideas of how to have fun may really be eased at this time, or they just completely go out of the window. You're just like, actually, a couple of months back I really wouldn't do this, but who cares? Oh my gosh, like it's really that type of energy. You just may meet somebody new who may be older, since Venus is in Capricorn, who may change your perspective of having fun, or change your perspective on relationships, or even your creativity, actually. Or you may just become more committed towards your creative ideas. If you have any children, interactions with your children may become very lighthearted and just genuine fun. Like you may realize that actually they're at that age now. You're also at that age where you can enjoy your kids, because let's just be honest, children, like anything else, there's always a pro and a con. Of course, there's more pros than there are cons, but everyday life with kids can get challenging. We all know this. If you're a parent, you know exactly what I mean. But usually, a lot of the time, the daily tasks, the daily activities that happen can really suck the enjoyment out of everything. So having this transit is really, really nice, because you just realize that actually we're all growing here, we're all learning from each other. So let's make it fun. Let's make this trip around the sun pretty awesome. Why don't we? So Venus here could also signify taking some sort of risk, probably gambling, just going to the casino and be like, yes, I have a couple of bucks, so I'm feeling kind of lucky. Let me just gamble safely, obviously, and winners know when to quit. Let's just put that out there, because I am not promoting or even condoning gambling at this point, but it's definitely something that you could want to do, and you might even be extremely lucky. So do take that into consideration. But yeah, you're definitely going to do things differently, and it could really prove to be beneficial. So don't be afraid to let your hair down and really get creative, as you might be rewarded quite generously. That just sounded different in my head. Anyway, Capricorn Venus transiting in the 6th. So here, this could be anything goes here, really. It could be bitter or it could be sweet. Venus here for a lot of people can be unfavorable because it's directly opposite the 12th house. So, disputes in your personal or professional life may be possible here. Just be warned to kind of keep track of your weight as well. You might gain or you might lose, because remember, 6th house is all about daily activities, and with Venus here, child, please, just if you are stressed, please don't be eating all of the Oreos in the cookie jar. Girl, don't be eating all of the cookies in the cookie jar. Don't eat 2 boxes of pizza, please. But anyway, let me not even judge. Like, you can do whatever you want, but just make sure that you just make sure that you're doing it in a way that is disciplined, that is controlled, because obviously you don't want to get to a point where you get to a certain weight and you're unhappy with that. And as I always strive to tell you guys and motivate you guys and inspire you guys that it's all about you, it's all about what you think is beautiful, it's all about what you perceive in your mind. So if you want to gain a little bit of weight, hey, gain a little bit of weight, but obviously not to a point where it's going to make you uncomfortable, it's going to make you depressed, it's going to make you unhappy. So just keep that in mind when I say things like don't be gaining too much weight and don't be losing too much weight. So yeah, Venus here tends to be very indulgent in the day-to-day activities. So eating, drinking, smoking, anything that you basically like doing or do every single day could be, you could become a little bit obsessed with that, or yeah. So watch out for things like eating junk food a lot, which may also just be a problem towards your health, because obviously the older we get, the slower things become, even though it shouldn't be that way, but it is what it is. Also be sure to just exercise, really just get your blood flowing, making sure that you're getting your daily dose of some physical activity, because trust me, you literally can turn into a couch potato. So some exercise, definitely recommended if you are having this transit. If you usually have a regime that you follow, it really can be easy to fall off here, because Venus is a very relaxed, sort of like lazy energy. So proceed with caution. Capricorn in the 7th house, Capricorn Venus transiting the 7th house. So this definitely sounds like a vibe. It's definitely all about relationships. Now, this is the house that, is talked about the most in Venus retrograde videos, honestly speaking. When astrologers talk about how you may come across a new love relationship, this is the house that it's meant for, honestly speaking. You meet someone. If Venus is transiting here, you may meet somebody who may be beneficial in terms of a business partnership. A relationship may become stronger or more solidified. You may get engaged, you may get married. There's definitely a link here between becoming one or the actualization of dreams through working together, or bringing energies together to work on a project which may be beneficial for everybody involved. So this is really about working together, being one, or meeting people that will be able to balance you out, because obviously the 7th house is about balance. It's ruled by Libra. It's the 7th sign. It is all about balance. It is all about, negative and positive, and finding an equilibrium of some sort. So this is also a time when your relationships may become more grounded, seeing as it is in Capricorn, and just a little bit more serious. You may benefit a lot in the themes of the 7th house. So if you're going to be signing any contracts, if you're going to be going into any, business with, people that people that you're quite close to, you may find yourself to experience a really balanced energy. You may experience harmony. You may experience marriage. If you're dealing with a court case, things might really swing in your favor because 7th house rules justice and fairness. So this is definitely an optimistic transit, definitely an awesome time to be alive here. Venus transiting the 8th house. Now this is interesting because this can also go either way. 8th house rules debt, loss, intensity, and as we know, Venus can tend to go overboard. So you may find yourself once again spending unnecessarily, or coming to realize where you may have spent unnecessarily. If you're thinking about getting financial help from people, institutions, or banks, please do so only if absolutely necessary. Like, I don't know, if you have to take out a loan for what is absolutely necessary, what could be absolutely urgent. I'll let you think about that because that's completely up to you, but let it be something that you actually would not be able to do without. Like, you would really be in cack if you don't actually get it sorted out. Like, get a loan for that. Don't get a loan for I just want to go buy some clothes. No, please don't do that. Just don't. So it's possible that you may start a relationship that could be hidden or just taboo, a bit unusual, but it's very, very intense. Like, this might be a relationship whereby you just literally met and you talked for 6 hours, literally on a bench outside in a park somewhere. I don't know, but literally you meet somebody that changes your entire life. For the good, maybe, for the bad. It obviously depends on how your chart is structured. So you may even come into esoteric knowledge that may deepen or strengthen your understanding of the world around you, or you could really start looking into occult studies or practices. You may be more open-minded to really understanding your own or the psychology of other people around you. Perhaps even a really a depth to your spiritual understanding of self is really, really, really possible here. So there's a lot of positives to Venus transiting the 8th, and it's not just about sex. Okay. Transits to the 9th house are also quite welcomed by me, especially because I love the 9th house. Most of my personal planets fall in this house, so as you can imagine, this is going to be a pretty personal message for me. And I'm hoping that I won't be biased because this is my house, guys. Like, this is literally me just stepping into my favorite pair of slippers. Like, let me not be biased. Let me try to not be biased. But what I am going to say, the only thing that comes to mind when I think about the 9th house, I think about growth. I think about expansion, and that could mean anything for anyone. Expansion or growth in terms of your worldview, your connections, your higher learning, your higher consciousness, your understanding of the universe and its inner workings. Spiritual knowledge may be advanced because it's in Capricorn. If you do get a new job, you may be received really well, make a substantial amount of money in whichever chosen field. And remember, the 9th house is a benefic house. Like, Sagittarius is a benefic energy. Jupiter is a benefic planet. So really, the only thing that could really go wrong here is if you bite off more than you can chew. But even then, you can still work around it. So I can't, maybe I'm being biased again, but I don't see how this energy would not serve anyone well, because literally, like I said, Jupiter is that planet of fortune. I mean, hello. And so we about to have some fun, ain't we? So a lot of possibilities, a lot of amazing changes are really expected here. So also an awesome time to be alive. So definitely do have fun if you are having Venus transiting your ninth house. Then we got the 10th house, Venus in Capricorn transiting the 10th house. So this is going to be highly beneficial. Because Venus is going to be at home here, seeing as it's in, Capricorn energy. Capricorn is the ruler of the 10th house. So my thoughts really are growth as well here. Growth. Definitely a lot of growth in the themes of the 10th house are expected here. So, you could advance in your career. Authority may really approve of you and your work ethic, your work overall, and even your contribution to said company or organization. Your reputation may be perceived really well, or it might even be sweetened if it was in shambles before the transit. You may receive a promotion of some sort, be given extra responsibility, perhaps even become a parent. As the 10th house represents the public, and I mean, what is more public than having a baby? What is more public than having a baby? And what is adding more responsibility than having a child? So lots of possibilities there. That's also, if you make it known to the public. But even despite that added responsibility, obviously you immediately think of a child, because that is really something that is really huge and could change your public standing. Some people get more motivated being a parent, so it's definitely a change, one that changes your life forever. And as we know, Capricorn energy is long-lasting change, as is Pluto, and all of the other generational planets. But or you may just you may have to take care of your parents, or you may lose a helper, seeing as the 10th house is opposite the 4th house. So you may lose help that you may have had in the home, and you might find yourself having to take care of the home more often than you would have, or have to look for help really soon. That's just one of the possibilities. So like I always say, depending on how your chart is mapped out, anything is possible. The 11th house, yay, let's have a blast. So this is also another awesome transit to the 11th house. 11th house is opposite the 5th house, so it's going to affect your 5th house. So it's definitely going to be vibes. It's definitely going to be light-hearted, fun, creativity, gambling, children. So projects that you may even do with others may really be favorable. You might be able to rope in a good amount of success. You may meet people who may become lifelong friends, who you may share the same goals, visions, dreams with. Perhaps a project that you may have been wanting to work on that has been on your mind for a while may come to fruition, as you may now be in better spirits, maybe in a better position to become more practical. So for example, if you're a musician and you haven't been able to get your songs moving because you've needed somebody with a little bit more knowledge within PR or marketing or social media representation, anything like that, anything that has to do with sort of like having a presence, or having that experience dealing with the media, dealing with the public, guess what? The universe may just bring you people or a person who may help you push your dream forward. So definitely do keep an open mind as to the possibilities. Or you might go through a season where you just end up losing friends, where it's just like you realize that the people that you thought you were hanging out with were really down for you, and you realize that no, honey, actually you were down for yourself all along. So again, really just depends on how things are looking in your chart. Last but not least, Venus transit to the 12th house. I think this one is also nice. It's really pleasurable. I mean, Venus enjoys being in the 12th house, or even just being in Pisces energy period. So Venus really is going to have an opportunity to flow here. The energy just permeates easier, and there are no boundaries in this house. But in Capricorn, it's not as comfortable, as the sign needs structure. It needs discipline, and these are all of the things that 12th house really isn't. So it can be challenging in that aspect, because of the Capricorn influence. So overall, you may experience a longing of wanting to be closer or merge with your partner, or to just get away from it all. Like, you might just have a thought where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I just want to be done with life, but not really like, you're not being suicidal about it. You just really feel like you just need a break, like you need to get away, like you want to go on vacation, something like that, because the 12th house represents distance traveling as well, and being, I wouldn't say locked up somewhere, but like, just having time where you just don't have to deal with your responsibilities as much as you would on a normal day or on a normal weekend or whatever the case is. So yeah, you might just feel the need to really want to be closer, or you want to merge with your partner, or sort of get away from it all. You may even feel like you'd like to deepen your current relationship or your spirituality even. It may just really be a confusing time for you, because you really just want to have a tight grip on reality, but you're also being called to let go of all of your inhibitions and just let everything happen the way it's supposed to be, and just, let it be. So, it's quite challenging. This is also the house of loss. It's also opposite the 6th. So it's really, it's bittersweet, honestly. It's nice for those who do have this energy already, who do have planets in the 12th house, so it would be easier to understand this energy. But if you literally don't have any planets in the 12th house, or any aspects to the 12th house sign, the ruler, then it's gonna be a lot challenging. Like I said, this is also the house of loss. I wouldn't really say loss like, oh my gosh, I'm about to lose myself, but I mean like loss in terms of, loss of relationships, loss of time, loss of your mind, literally, loss of social interactions. There's a lot of loss that one could experience when it comes to the 12th house. It doesn't always have to be death. It doesn't always have to be death. So also be careful of how you use your money during this time, because money is something that we use on a day-to-day basis, and the 6th house rules day-to-day activities. So you could find yourself paying for hospital bills, because the 6th house also deals with health. So take care of yourself, really, is what is the overall message here. Really take care of yourself. Be careful of how you use your money, because you might just find yourself in an emergency, and you may need the money that you may have spent unnecessarily. You could find yourself paying for hospital bills, like I mentioned before, or even rehab. When you're coming to a realization, you might have had like a really, really tipping point, like a climax, and experience and sort of come to a realization that, okay, no, a certain habit is really taking control of your life, and that it needs to be addressed. Or you might find yourself dealing with traumas that are coming to the surface, and you could just start therapy for better overall mental health, which is pretty awesome. The thing to remember here is just to remember to remain hinged and not lose yourself in the process of this transit. So not lose yourself in love, not to lose yourself in somebody else, not lose yourself in habits, not lose yourself in the sense of loss, not lose yourself in all of your burdens, not lose yourself in the emotions of others. Really is a lot, but you get it. So as you've heard, astrology is definitely dependent on a lot of factors. Just hearing about a Venus transit or a Venus retrograde transit is not enough information to go on. Honestly, it's not a matter of, oh my gosh, it's Venus, so I can expect love. Like, that is not the only thing. It can be, but that is not the only thing that should be taken into account. And that's all I've got for you, my tubers. A reminder though, tubers, to take what resonates and leave the rest. I always hope to bring clarity in the understanding or study of astrology, and I hope you have understood a little bit more about the Venus retrograde. Until my next video, on that note, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, which transit you are currently going to be experiencing. Show me some love and subscribe to my channel if you'd like and feel I have brought value to your understanding of astrology. As always, your time spent is much appreciated. Till next time, you know what you do, so keep doing what you do. Peace, love, and most of all, light. I'm out.